Hey guys, how are you all doing? Let's have a quick one for today. Um, where price is going to start from there. Okay, so let's see. I have a theory, right? If price should trade to this point, if price today's candle, all right, today's daily candle trades down to this point, right, without creating any fair value gap here, then we might likely see a drop to this place before maybe going higher. All right, that's something to look out for as well. Okay, that's something to look out for. But right now, we're bullish on the dollar, very bullish on the dollar, like very, very bullish on the dollar. If you look at the monthly time frame, you can see we've swept liquidity here, and then we've broken above this, right? Internal range high, right? We've broken above it. And we're heading towards this monthly fair value gap. That's the short-term target, right? Long-term target could be this, which is 50% of this range, because that's like where 50%, yeah. So this is 50% of this overall range here, right? So that could be my target too. So midpoint of the fair value gap here. That's my second target. But for now, this is low-hanging fruit, right? The problem now is how to, how do we then trade towards this point? Now, since today is the start of the week, we have to, be very cautious. All right. Wait to see what price gives us before we move. So, on the daily, yeah, we already started reacting from this fair value gap on the daily. So we have to see how price reacts. This this is the weekly fair value gap that I said I want to see price get to, you know, before continue higher, you know, in I don't want it to go like way deep. Alright, but this is cool. And then you get this pullback. Now on the 4 hour, that's likely the same thing, We've had this push from here, right? So you see it lines up perfectly with the 50% of this new 4 hour leg, right? Now, if we get a pullback into this zone, we could then look for, price on the lower time frames to trade into this zone, right? So if you can see the weekly fair value gap sits on top of the 50% of this range, just above it, right? So yeah, this is a good liquidity zone. This is liquidity right here. This load. All right. So anticipate this pullback and then continuation. So I won't be looking to trade the pullback now. It's just not worth my time. Over the years, I've not been grateful in trading pullback. So I just avoid it altogether. All right. So I'd wait for my setup once price gets to this point. I look for a pullback and then the internal uh, liquidity, like this high or the next high that will be created around here are my targets, right? So you have targets, you have another target, you have another target, you have ultimate target. So before price even gets to this point, you've already booked some profits, right? So that's what I'll be expecting for DXY, right? So I think I have to push this. I have to push this. Uh, yeah. So good. So yeah, that's what my anticipation for dollar this week. Right, we pull back into the zone and continue higher. So let's go to EU. For EU, it's similar, right? Right now we have a pullback. Yes, so we have a pullback, right? So we have a pullback going by this trade. Very nice trades will be have to. Uh, okay, so far here's our target for the monthly time frame, right? To sweep all this liquidity here down into this. But once this monthly candle closes, we might get, you know, a pullback into this and then before continuing that, right? A pullback into this before continuing that. Or we just continue, right? And then create a fair value gap. That price would then look to trade into, right? Before dropping, right? So whichever scenario happens, we're prepared for that. But in the meantime, we already have, we are poised for a close below this low. Today is 29, so we have just one more day for this candle to close. So one day, 18 minutes, 18 hours, sorry, for this candle to close. And uh, let's see how it closes anyway. Let's see how it closes because if this candle should go higher, then we'd have to close above this. Right now, we just took out this low and we just broke below it, which confirms the trend, right? This was the first break of structure, right? So we had this is protected high, right? This was the first protected high. We had a sweep, price went back down, broke this low. After breaking, we pulled back to 50% of this range to mitigate this other block here, right? And now we've headed lower, right? So now that we've headed lower and then we've broken this low, it only but confirms uh, the trend, right? The bearish trend. It only but confirms the bearish trend. So what happened here will be transferred to this, right? Now we don't really have uh, a confirmed low, right? We don't know if this is the main low. Am I recording? Yeah. So We don't know if this is the main low yet. We could trade lower and then create another low before maybe the pullback starts. But we have to wait to see how that would play out. Okay. And we have the main low now. We don't know if this is the main low, but we have a low or a lower low, right? And then we have a protected high. So I don't expect price to trade above this high for any reason, right? Price should not trade above this high again for whatsoever reason. So we have a range on this weekly time frame, right? This is the high and this is the low. So we have to mark out this range, right? To get our premium and discount, right? So now we have our premium and discount. And as you can see, price is currently at discount, right? And we don't sell from discounts. We don't sell. We only sell for premium, right? We buy in discount, sell for premium, right? So we have to wait for price to, you know, personally, I will wait for price, you know, to, okay, give me a signature. So this is what I'll be anticipating a pullback, right? At some point. I'm a swing trader anyway. So I'm a swing trader. For those who don't know, I'm a swing trader. So I trade swings, right? I like to hold trades for over a long time. If you check out the trades I took, you could see that you could see the let's see. Uh, oh shit. Uh, oh, okay. No, 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 no. What the hell? Okay, okay. So I think it's here. Yeah. If you look at this, yeah, this. I held it for like how many days, right? I got in, no, not this one. Yeah, so this was my first entry, right? Here on the 4th of June, right? And I held this trade until price got to the 24th. So for over 20 days, right? Over 20 days. This was my target. So price hit, yeah, 23rd, right? For, yeah, 20 days. I took it from here. First entry was here. Second entry here, right? So you can imagine. So I'm a swing trader. So I don't just trade, uh, I don't scalp, right? So I'm not a scalper. So what I'll be looking out for are purely swing trades, right? So unless you are a swing trader, then you get to understand what I'm trying to say. But then having an idea of what price is going to do on the higher time frame, right, is really good. You know, the directional bias, right? It's a directional bias. It gives you, okay, so now we're in a downtrend, right? We're in a downtrend and we expect price to, you know, um, to pull back at some point, right? So we have a lot of zones that price could pull back to, right? And this high here, this internal high here, could be used as liquidity. This could be used as liquidity. But this is not permitted to be used as liquidity, at least for now, right? Until we take out this low. Until take out this low, right? But until then, this is a protected high, right? We could trade above this one. We could trade above this one. It doesn't matter, right? We're still within the range, right? And everything within the range is fair game. I don't know if you understand what I mean. Everything within the range is fair game. So if your stop loss is here, you're at risk of being stopped out, right? If you're in a trade and you're still holding it and your stop loss is here, you are at the risk of being stopped out because price could come here. Yes, we have another block here, right? But you see, there's something called SMT, right? And smart money technique, that's what it's called. But what happens is sometimes the EU, okay, so we're trading the dollar, right? The direction of the inverse of the direction of the dollar. So if the dollar is bullish, it means the foreign currencies will be bearish, right? Like EU, GU, and all that will be the opposite of what the dollar is doing. So once we're bearish on the dollar, and then we have two pairs who correlate. So when it comes to currency correlations, I think I'm going ahead on myself for that. Listen, currency correlations, right? We have EU and GU, right? Those two pairs are positively correlated and very close, right? Then we have NUSD, that's New Zealand USD, right? New Zealand dollar. And then we have Australian dollar, right? Those two pairs are the pairs that correlate too. So you have those two, and then you have these two, and then for gold, you have gold and you have silver, right? So I use gold and silver for my correlations, for my SMT, right? So sometimes when you look at this, depending on which pair is stronger, right? So how do you get to know which one is stronger? So I use Euro GBP to map out the strong pair, right? To get to know which is stronger. At the moment, we have GBP a bit stronger than EU, but it switches, right? It switches. This week EU can be stronger, next week GU will be stronger and all that, right? So this is what I use to get a view for which pair will be stronger, right? So I go through this every day to get an idea of which pair will be stronger, because if I'm selling, I don't want to be selling the stronger pair. I want to be selling the weaker pair. Do you understand? So if Euro GBP is selling, it means Euro is weaker than GBP. But if Euro GBP is buying, it means the GBP is stronger than, sorry, the Euro is stronger than the GBP, right? Euro USD is stronger than Great British Pound US dollar, right? That's if Euro British Pound is buy, right? But if it's selling, it's the opposite. So once I have that, then I know which pair to trade here. So once I have that information, I come over to my chart and I kind of have an idea of the pair that will give me a higher high, right? For the SMT. So the stronger pair is most likely to give you a sweep of a liquidity of some sort at a high, right? While the weaker pair would be the one to give you the lower high. I don't know if you understand, because for an SMT, you're supposed to have uh, a higher high on one pair and a lower high on the other. Now, when you have, let's see, so we have something like this, right? Then this, and then the second one. So you have a higher high on this, a sweep of this high, right? And then the second pair would be like this. No, right? So the second pair would be like this. And then this first pair would be like, yep, yeah. So, yes, right? So the stronger pair will do this, while the weaker pair will do this. When the weaker pair does this, when you spot the weaker pair, when you spot the SMT, you're supposed to trade the weaker pair because if you're selling, this weaker pair would be the one to get to its target fastest, right? Because if you get into this one, you might get in and you might experience delays, right? You see, price will just be consolidating for a very long time. Sometimes it could take a day, while this one will just be going down, right? So instead of trading the stronger pair when you are in a downward momentum, you trade the stronger pair when the direction is bullish, right? Where the daily bias is bullish, then you look for the stronger pair between them and then you trade the stronger pair. I don't know if that makes sense. Yeah, so that's what I do every day before I take my trade. So I look out for which pair is stronger. So if you have any questions, you can leave them in the comment section and I will make sure I answer them. Okay. All right. So let's continue. So so as I was saying, we could get a sweep here while the GU doesn't get a sweep, right? And then price will just hit this other block and continue, right? Or we could get a sweep on the GU and EU will just hit this other block and continue, right? But either way, we need to see price kind of have a bit of a retracement into the 50% for me to start taking valuable trades and shutting price down to create a lower high here, right? So we're anticipating a lower high to form around this zone, right? Yeah, so we're anticipating a lower high to form around this zone, right? Okay, either here or here, like just around this area. So that's one. So we'll continue downwards, right? So we'll go to the daily. And if you see the daily, you would understand what I'm talking about, right? We have this zone here, which most people call another block. It's another block anyway, not most people. I still trade other blocks. So this is a daily order block, like the most refined one, right? But you could use this entire zone, right? Yeah, from here to here. For me, that's one of the best ways to mark it out because sometimes price might not get to this very extreme order, right? So we need to see price get towards this point and then sell, right? So as you can see, we have a daily fair value gap here, which I'm anticipating price would, have to buy to before selling, right? So a lot is being anticipated at the moment, right? We have this, so we're anticipating price comes up. So we have to see, we have to see. Right now I'm on the sideline side. I am not taking any trade because if you look at the 4 hour, right, we've had a pullback to this zone, and it's like we're in between this and then this low, right? So for me to comfortably take a trade, I need to see price trade above this, to take a trade above this up to this point, and then I can look to enter, you know, and then shut down, right? So that's it. So let's just watch out for what price does, and then I'll update. I think I'll be releasing an update every day. Yeah. Okay. What we must do based on what price has done, and what we have to look out for and all that. So I'll be updating. I think I'll do that every day, every day, every day, every day. Yes. So that's what I'm going to do on this channel. All right. So if you have any questions, um, please put them in the comment section, and I will respond to every one of them. Okay. So we're looking to, for me personally, I'm just going to wait. All right. I'm not going to get into anything here at the moment. I don't, like I said, I don't trade counter trades. But if I were to trade this, right, this is a good, yeah, this is a good target, right? So let's say we have this consolidation. We need to see price, take out some sort of consolidation, right? So we need to see price. So for those who are looking to take the trade, right, we need to see price sweep this low, right? And then once price sweeps this low and then breaks above the candles, right? So we're gonna have a few candles here, right? Right, so we're gonna have a few candles here. So once price breaks above this candle, right, then we could look to trade a pullback and then target this high. We could also target, this relative equal high. So you could target this highs or target this high here, right? But I won't be taking that trade. Let's see. Target this highs here. But I mean, this high is nice. Would be nice to be taken out. So we just look for this high. It's low hanging fruit. That's if you see this, don't just trade it blindly, okay? Don't just trade it blindly, right? Because if you look at price on the 1 hour, let's use 2 hours so that it's more pronounced. Yeah. So we had this, I won't call this a pullback. I consider all this one leg, but we had this push break and we broke above this, right? So it will get some bit of relief back into the zone, right? Exactly. You know, a bit of relief back into the zone to then trade higher, right? So your first target will be this. Once you get this, I mean, you should be contented. You should wait out because you're trading a counter trade. The price could just take this and then drop back down, right? Price could just go sweep this high, take this liquidity, and then come back down, right? So once you get any sort of uh, a bit of a sweep, you should be okay. You should be out. Don't hold the trade for long because you're trading counter trend, right? So that's my advice, but I don't think I'll be looking to take uh, this trade anyway. Yes, but if you want to get something out of it within Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you could look for this signature and you could look to capitalize from it. But for me, I'll be waiting for price to get to decimal levels here to then sell back down, right? So that's what I'll be looking for. Yes, so let's go to GU. Now, GU on the monthly, right? We're at more like the same place too, yeah. And this is my overall target on GU, right? This low here. I'm supposed to sweep this into, let's see, do we have something here? There's nothing here. What I have here is this, right? This zone, which, yeah, we have this, I call it what a block of some sorts. All right, we had a sweep. Mm, yeah, so this would look like a nice place to get a reaction. Yes, all right, a very nice place to get a reaction. With a valid gaps. So, uh, this low will go, and if that low is going, let's go to the monthly. Yeah, so okay, let's just see. We had a sweep, right? And we were gonna do this. Yeah, so you see this is sitting just above the 50%. So this is my main target on G, right? So once price gets to this low, and we'll see how market reacts and then look at what's next, okay? We're not trying to get ahead of ourselves, but this is my long-term target on G, this low here. This is November 2025, right? So yes, November 2025. That's my long-term target. So if we're to trade this week, we have zones. We have zones, right? We have zones. So this is a daily range, right? This is a daily range. So last week, this is what we did. We created a fair value gap here, right? And we have this, what is it called? Uh, Order block, right? We have this order block, right? So when we're bearish, we don't expect price to trade above this. And another thing to look out for is this sweep here, right? Price first swept this high before tanking, right? It became hit this and had this pullback. So for GU, this is a much clearer trade, right? So we have a 1 week fair value gap. Let me see EU. Do we have? Yes, we do. We do. We do have a 1 week fair value gap here as well. Yeah, I forgot to mark this out. So if we have this 1 week fair value gap, then it I forgot to mark this out. Yeah, so weekly fair value gap. So this wasn't I was anticipating a fair value gap here. You never gave a fair value gap, so right. So you can see the difference between this and this, right? One swept the previous week low, which is the SMT I'm talking about, right? Let's see. You see, so this is no, no, sorry. Okay. I understand now. I understand now. That's not an SMT. Sorry. I thought it was. I wanted to use as, but it's not. It's not. It's not. So we're back to G, right? So yes, this looks like a good trade to take. So you guys should watch out for this. Right. So we have a fair value gap here. That price would look to come mitigate. Right. Right. So we have a fair value gap here that was created from last week. We also had a sweep and a close inside of this range. So yeah, we could look for higher prices here. Now, this alone is not enough for you to just step in and take a trade aiming for this, right? It's not enough. But if you look at the signature, we've had a bit of resistance coming down, right? So we had this, and it's valid because this is a zone, right? This is a zone that is supposed to take price lower. So price is a battle between buyers and sellers, right? Some people are selling here, some people are buying here. But that's one thing about counter trades, right? I don't like taking counter trades because of this, right? When you're trading in the opposite direction of the market, right? The momentum, right? It's not always clean. It's not always clean. It's not always clean. Right? It's not always clean. You have a lot of, what will I call it? You have a lot of ups and downs and all that. Right? Now we have this. This is a um, short-term target. Let's see on EU. Yeah, this is valid. This is valid. So we have a short-term target on GU as well. So this weekly fair value gap is the target. You know, we used this daily fair value gap here, right? So two things. We could look for price to trade above this, come back down, use this inverted fair value gap as support to then push higher, right? So you would have, so what will happen is you have a breakup structure because we already have a sweep, right? And you have this double order block. You have this order block, right? These two candles here. So you have your order block, and then you have an inverted fair value gap as well, right? So once you have a stack of confluences here, a stack of PDRAs, you know that, okay, yeah, this might be a strong zone, right? And then you look to capitalize on it. But for now, we need to see what price does. I'm just saying, if you should see price go above this, break, clean close, not a weak, right? A clean full body candle close above the zone. Then we come back down. You could easily target this as your next target, right? But you should need, you need to be careful. You need to be careful, right? Well, that could be your next target. Okay, so let's see how price plays out on uh on the lower time frames, right? So right now we've had this. Hmm. We've had this a series of highs, lows, internal range. Right now, I don't. You see, it's not giving. It's not. So personally, I would like to see some sort of like a sweep. All right. So if we get a sweep of this low, right, and then price starts turning, then yeah, I might look to take something for this high here, target this high. So let's see. Let's see. Yeah, that's enough. That's enough. That's enough. That's enough. So if we get a pullback, you know, of some sort around this area, we could target this high, because of what we're seeing on the higher time frame, right? This is that weekly fair value gap, right? So I'd like to see sort of a sweep first. Yeah, I'd like to see sort of a sweep first. Yeah, so and I'd like to see an SMT, right? So maybe GU would sweep this low and EU would, not sweep it. Oh, let's see. Let's see how it let's so let's see. So maybe we get a sweep, you know, and then price trades back above the consecutive candles that creates the sweep and the pullback and boom, right? You take this and then you relax. All right. So please, if you have any questions, just let me know in the comment section below. All right. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you like. Um, if you enjoy these videos, okay? All right. So my next pair I'll be going through is gold. Right. Wow. Nice, 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 nice. Nice. Okay, so for gold, we have yes. I have to take out this. No, let me see. Yep. So let's use the new gold and silver. I'll use this. All right. So gold, right? Because as you can see, I've marked out this blue and price has come for it. All right. Yep. So on gold, what do we have? So let's see what we have on gold. Okay. Um, we're actually on a very long pullback because we had this extended. If we watch, whenever we have this extended run, right? There's always a few months or years of a pullback, and I tell you, this here is nothing compared to what we have here, right? Well, you see, it's of similar range, but gold has really ripped. So we're now correcting, we're now correcting, we're in the correction phase. I mean, gold could go as far as 10,000, right? Could go as high as 10,000. But for now, we don't know. Let's see how it goes. The trading, you don't, you forecast, right? You do forecasting, yes, but you forecast, but then you only trade what you see, right? So like this, we're reacting off of this. So we're reacting off of this. We could see a bit of a pullback into this, right? So something like this to then continue lower into maybe this or come back deeper. But for now, I don't know. So let's just keep going lower until we see, okay, here, this is what we see here. We have a point of interest here, right? So we have this point of interest, 1 month fair value gap. So we have this point of interest here, or this other point of interest. So this is the only point of interest we have right now on gold, and we're very close. So I mean, if we're going to see a reaction on gold, it should be from here, right? So let's keep going down. Yes, so we have a low here, which is what I call a low hanging fruit, right? Low hanging fruit, right? Yes, so this is low hanging fruit. And how do we get here? On the, I mean, why I marked out this could be the catalyst for uh, price to then trade back into this consecutive um, bullish candles, right? Yeah, so trade back into it. And then from here, we would have to wait to see how price reacts here, right? If price should break above this, then we could be going higher. But if price should hit this and then starts, breaking down, and coming down, then Charlie, we could be coming back for this low, right? But we're not trying to get ahead of ourselves. Right now, we're trying to see how price will get to this lows, right? So this is the monthly fair value gap, and this is the uh, weekly target. This is my weekly target. This low will be swept. Right now, I'm not getting any zone on the weekly, right? I'm not getting any zone on the weekly. So let's go to daily now. Once we go to the daily, you could see we have a couple of zones, right? We have this daily other block, right? Price does not come back to mitigate this. We have fair value gap here, right? And price is currently trading into it. Oh, damn. We have to wait to see how price reacts inside of this fair value gap, right? So we have to be mindful and watchful. Watch to see what price does inside of fair value gap, right? We need to watch and see what price does here. So let's go to the daily. Good. So for me, what I see here is ah, hmm, we're in the fair value gap, right? On the fair value gap. we're in the fair value gap. We have this one here. So if I'm to check this out, yeah, we're already at, we've hit equilibrium, right? 50% of the range. But this is not the range for me, right? This is where the range starts. Okay, so hmm, two things here. Are we going to get uh are we going to get a deeper pullback into this zone for selling, or it's quite late. It's 3:55 a.m. I'm doing this at 3:55 a.m. so I'm a bit sleepy. Yeah, so pardon me for all the noise, right? The yawnings and all that. Um, we could see price trade into this and then just continue going down, right? Right now, where prices, um, I really wouldn't look to take longs. I mean, even if the opportunity presents itself, you could, you know, say it's more like it's the same thing with the other pairs like GU and EU, right? If price should come down here into the zone, we could take longs to target this high. I mean, don't be greedy. Okay, don't be greedy. Don't go aiming for this high, even if this high could get hit. But what you should understand that this is another block, right? Price might decide to use this, right, as the point where it would turn this, right, and then continue. And if your TP is here, then price will not hit your TP. All right, don't forget the main trend is bearish. We're in a downtrend, right? So when you're in a downtrend, the bullish candles hold more weight, right? But you're not expecting price to trade and close above them unless we're going to seek liquidity on a higher time frame, right? And for me, this looks like so even if you get an entry here, please be very, very conservative. Don't just go and start stacking positions. I'd rather prefer to stack on the way down, right? Down to stack on the way up, right? So for me, looking at this on the 4 hour, it kind of makes more sense. But I mean, the market does what it wants to do, right? So we could see price come here and trade lower, or we go higher into this. So there's some unmitigated order block here. We just had this. We've not returned into it yet. So once we return into this, we could come hit this, right? And then trade lower to come hit this, all right? So keep an eye out for uh all that scenario, keep an eye out for that. So this and then this. So yeah, this is my anticipation for gold for this week, right? So let's see how it plays out. For NAS, right? So this pair, I am now looking at it, right? Now trying to get Oh. So I won't be doing this today. That'll be all. I don't want this video to be very long. So that's all for today, guys. That's all for today. Okay, so let me go through these guys here. All right, let me go through USD card and USD chef. I don't trade these pairs. I do not trade this pairs at all. But if you look at this, right, you could see we're very, very bullish, right? And we've been putting a series of high highs and high lows, right? So high low, high high. I don't know why this is cut off at. Oh, okay. It's because of blueberry. Let me look for another one. Okay, good, 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 good. So if I'm going to the trading this, right? Take set with the card. Here's the check. This is good. Okay, so I changed it. Okay, so yes. So if we're going to be trading this, okay, very good. Now what do you see? I didn't want it. Let's see. How long is this now? Oh, close to an hour. Jeez, 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 jeez. It's just I don't want this to be this long, right? So we have um price. Okay, we've swept the low here, and right now we're broken above this high, and that's a sign that we're bullish. Jeez, we're bullish, right? And I mean, now that we've broken this, we need to anticipate some sort of a pullback at some point, right? To then continue higher. So long term, this would be my view on the market, right? Just like dollar as well, you know. So long term, yes. So long term, this would be my view on the market. So even if I start seeing price selling off, I know what price is coming to do because I have an idea of what price is doing on the monthly, right? Okay. So if I see price start selling off aggressively on the 4 hour or daily, I understand that okay, we might be coming to mitigate this other block here or this one here, whether this isn't cannot, right? So it might be coming to mitigate this before continuing higher to then maybe take this high. This is my low hanging fruit. This one, you see, and then this one, external liquidity, right? So, on the weekly, it's also the same, right? It's also the same. So right now we have this. We need to get some sort of a pullback on the daily, right? We're now seeing this whole thing materialize, right? We're now seeing this whole thing materialize. I'm not saying you should look for short, so please, I beg you. Let's see. Yeah, right now, I can't even advise anyone to take shots on this market because these pairs are fucking crazy, man. It's a kind of use the check. Oh, okay. So we have this low that could be used as liquidity, to then trade higher, or then we'll go lower to mitigate this. Actually, we have a lot. We have a lot, right? We have a lot. So let me just use the daily because Charlie, I'm not seeing anything. I'm not seeing anything. I'm not seeing anything here. So for me, I'll just wait for some sort of a pullback and then look to take, you know, a trade. So right now I'm not seeing anything on this guys. I can't tell you guys to say take shots here, take high. Nah, I don't do that. I don't trade like that. Okay. So let's see USD chart on the monthly time frame. I think I also did the same thing for this, right? We have a break of market structure here. We could also look to pull back into this monthly, order block at some point, but the first target is here, just like the dollar as well, right? And how are we going to get to this high here, this high? How are we going to get there? Let's go to the weekly, right? Now we have a weekly fair value gap. Awesome, right? We have a weekly fair value gap. Now we've take in mind, we've taken this. You see, once we took this high, we retraced, right? Now, one of the key things to note here is how the candle closed, right? If the candle the closed above this high, then we might not come back here. But since it closed below it, then I'm 50% sure, no, not certain. I mean, this is a market. I'm 50% sure would come down to this weekly fair value gap to continue higher, right? So this is monthly. This prediction here is my monthly prediction, right? The pullback into the monthly fair value gap that will come in later, probably after we've taken this high right here. So when we get this, we'll need to get like a bit of relief from this bullish momentum, right? So it might come back down and then continue higher, right? So that's longer term. I always like to have the bigger picture in mind, So if I see price starts selling aggressively, I know what's happening. I won't panic because I know this low here is definitely a strong low now. So price shouldn't trade below this or maybe even this, but I know this should hold, right? This should hold. This can be swept, but this should hold. I don't know if you understand what I mean, right? So if I see price selling aggressively down to this point, if I should be preparing myself to take a very long position here, like a long position here to then target, whatever high that was created here, and then maybe even hold it to this high, right? Uh-huh. So that's it. Now, okay, going back down, yes. So we have this is a weekly fair value gap, right? Anticipate price. So if you see, I've already marked out my trade from last week. It's just that, uh, so this is the weekly fair value gap, right? And we're anticipating price to come. I think we had another fair value gap of some sort. Okay, I understand how and why I had that here. Yes, so this would be the main target, right? Good. So that's not enough RR for me, but I mean, you get the point, right? We tagged here and price starts selling down to this point. It's created a low. So we could see two things happen here. I mean, the range is from Let's see, we've had this. So we're still here, all right? We could see a sweep of this high, right? So you see a sweep of this high and then break below. Once we have a break below, so this is like a very simple trade that we could take, all right? This high can be targeted because I mean it can, but I don't expect it to be targeted. But it can be targeted, even if you understand. It should hold. It should hold. So we're at let's see. Yeah, so let's see how price reacts from these zones. This is a 2 hour favorable gap, right? So CSD, so good. So we're in here. That's good. That's good. So London could see this what? Let's see. Okay. I put off my. Let's see. Good. Okay, okay. Shit. There's a lot of my chart now. Okay. So we could see the Asia highs been swept, right? And what I would like to see next is a sweep and then a pullback, right? Yes, a sweep and a pullback. So yeah. So right now it appears we're using this as the other block, right? To go higher. So once we go higher, we sweep, right? I would like to see price then break below. So once we have the sweep, break below this low, right? And then a pullback to continue down, right? So we could get something of this sort. That's basically my entry, right? I don't go over to 15 minute, no, right? That's basically how I trade. So I need to change this. Let's do 50. For now, I don't need it. So yeah, so it should stay there. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, this is what I'm looking out for. A sweep, a pullback, right? A sweep, a break, and a pullback. Then you can get in. You can get in here. Let us say this, right? You get this 10. And you could easily get 1:3 here, right? 1:3, yeah. Easy, easy. Okay, so that's something that I have to look out for. I don't like to trade counter trades, but once I see setups like this, it could be worth, taking a punt. But I mean, for me to take this trade, I need to see price, you know, uh, sweep this first. Once price sweeps this, I need to see a break of structure. So that's two things I'm looking out for. So when I get the break of structure, what next? Then I need to see a pullback. And I'll be entering on the pullback. You understand? I don't just trade it blindly. Okay. Okay. So that's basically it. So guys, that's all for today. I'd like to hear from you. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. This is my very first video, and let's see, over an hour. All right. See you guys. Take care. Bye.